Well, thank you everyone for joining us this morning and having the opportunity to talk to you about Empire Fiber Internet and our partnership with Livingston County. With us today is Mike Polland, one of our sales leaders at Empire Fiber Internet, and then we have Megan Crow with not event planning, the planning board, right?
I'm the planning director at
Planning
Livingston.
director at
Yeah.
Livingston County, who's been working closely with us with the Light Up Livingston County project, and she'll talk a little bit more about that and the partnership with Empire Fiber Internet. To jump in, just wanted to talk a little bit about fiber internet and why that's different than what you may be familiar with the spectrums and traditional cable providers out there. So with fiber internet, it really elevates your experience both from a residential and business perspective. You get synchronous speeds with the service that you're provided. So what does that exactly mean? That means that you're getting the same upload and download speeds. A lot of times you'll see, advertising or communication about those download speeds. Upload speeds are going to be just as important because it has to do with uploading files. If you're doing video chatting like we are today, it really ensures that you have a reliable connection. And then with the technology as well, it's scalable. So residential and businesses are going to get a dedicated fiber line to their location. And what that ensures is during peak hours, if you think about when kids come home from school, 5 to 6 o'clock at night, a lot of people are on the internet because you have that dedicated line to your home or business. You're not going to have to worry about that buffering or service really slowing down during that time. And then the technology just has a lot of reliability with it as well. So how the fiber internet is put together, it is very reliable when it comes to weather, cold weather and rain. It's very persistent and stays up during those peak times. And then a little bit about Empire Fiber Internet. So we've been around since 1896. Obviously not supporting internet since then. We, started as a telephone company first, and as the technologies evolved, the company has evolved as well. So our main office is located in Prattsburgh, New York. We do have offices across New York as well and in Pennsylvania. So as demand has continued to grow with internet and fiber internet specifically, we've continued to grow there. One of the things that we're really proud of is that we are a local company. So as we go into different communities like Livingston County, we have local reps and local representation like Mike Pollen that are in the community, know residents, know the businesses, and are able to connect. We also do a lot with communities as well. Today, with the chamber, partner with the chamber, and we look for local events in the community also just to talk with residents and really put a name behind our organization. We also do a lot with local groups as well as far as sponsorships, again, to get our name out into the community and get residents comfortable with their service and really differentiate ourselves from the competition. As I mentioned, we've are across several communities. It's probably over 100 plus communities now. Like I mentioned, we have local reps in each of the areas we serve and local customer service as well that's available 24/7. So if you have a question, any issues or concerns, you're going to call someone that's local to the community, which again, we feel is a huge differentiator for us compared to some of the competition out there. And then community engagement's a huge thing for us. So we've done a lot of events over the past year and a half. Again, like I mentioned, the chamber events, that's a big part of connecting with the chambers and then working with the local municipalities as well to find key events where we can get in front of residents and businesses and really talk about our service and get people comfortable with making the switch to Empire Fiber Internet. Switching internet providers isn't something you do on a pretty regular basis, and it can be somewhat intimidating. Like, oh, I need to switch my equipment, need to do all of these things. And our team does a really great job, especially at these events, just making you comfortable about understanding what it takes to switch service. And it is, a pretty straightforward and seamless process with the local sales support that we have and the customer service support we have as well. Then I just wanted to, highlight our customers. That's a big differentiator for us as well. When, customers sign up for our service, we see an extremely low turnover rate on our end. So once they've signed up for service, they're getting that exceptional support, they're getting that exceptional speed. So we typically do not see customers leave us once they do have our service. Typically, the only time they are leaving us is if they're moving out of the area where they can't get our service. And then they're calling us and like, hey, when can I get service at my home or business? So we're really proud of the customers we have and the team that we have at Empire that's supporting our customers. And then one thing I wanted to touch on was the NPS score. So that stands for Net Promoter Score. So about a year and a half ago, we reached out to our current customer base just to get a temperature check on how do you feel about our service? Would you recommend us to friends, neighbors, family? And we received a score of 74. And you're probably thinking, oh, C, C plus, that's okay. Well, with the NPS score, it ranges from a range of 0 to 100. So 74 for telecommunications is exceptional. So when you think of, companies like Netflix, Amazon, uh, Wegmans is another company, they're in the 60s and low 70s, and people really resonate with those companies and say, hey, that's a great organization that I want to be part of. So 74 is exceptional for our industry. If you think of some of the other competitors out there, like the Spectrums, the Frontiers of the world, they're in the single digits and sometimes even in the negatives. And a big part of that is the customer service aspect of it. So that, again, that's one thing that really differentiates us from others out there is the support we provide once you do have service with us. So one thing that we also wanted to talk about was just our residential plans and some of the service that we provide. So I was actually going to turn that over to Mike Polland, who's an expert in that, and just talk a little bit about, our service and what we provide to residents and businesses.
I'm not much on the business side of things, but uh, so we offer three different speeds with the residential. We offer 500 megabytes per second, a gig, and 2 gig. Most popular, most people go with a gig. That's what I currently have at my house. Um, Mainly gaming. That's what we look for with higher speeds, and with the 500, it's more towards your older residents that don't use a lot of internet. Elite, I don't mostly go towards that. It's more of your bigger businesses. But yeah, compared to Spectrum, I worked for Spectrum 15 years, and the biggest difference I push for is we don't raise rates like Spectrum does. We don't customer service. We're 24-hour customer service based. So if you call, somebody will answer within 24 hours. They don't transfer you. I've been doing this now going on about 4 years. I'm a resident of Livingston County, so I do cover a big portion of Livingston County. But yeah, it's just business side of it. We do have our business reps, and I don't know a whole lot about going on with the business side of things, but yeah, residential just it's you can't compare it to Spectrum. It's just the quality and the customer service is top notch. That's why it makes our score so high. But that's about it. Thank you.
Mike? And then one thing I'll add from a business perspective. So we do provide service for small businesses and enterprise businesses as well. So depending on what your need is, we have local reps from a business perspective as well that can, work with your business and, provide you with the best type of service that's going to work and meet your needs. And again, we have a dedicated business support team and 24/7 local support with that as well. So there's more information about that on our website as well that you can learn more about from there. And I would say again, from a residential perspective, some of the other things that differentiate us as well is we offer free professional installation. So it's going to be again, local technicians that come to your home or a business and set up service for you. They're going to work with you to make sure that your router and modem is set up in the right place. So you're really getting the optimized speeds and making sure that all of your devices are connected in your business and in your home as well. So it's not, hey, we set you up, good luck with everything. They're going to walk through and make sure that all of your devices are connected and working seamlessly once service is installed and connected. And then one of the things that we have as an added value is we recently partnered with a company called Calix, and that's the router that we provide for both a residential and small business perspective. And we were talking a little bit about it before we started, right, with the spam calling and all of the attacks that are going on, spam, spyware, that type of stuff. This app that's included with all of our residential plans really protects your home. So look at it as a virtual protection there. So if you have kids, grandkids at your home, you're able to set up controls on there to really monitor what sites they're going on to and what activity is happening on there. So it's something that we've heard back from a lot of our customers that this is a huge value add for them because they're able to really monitor what's going on in their home and make sure that their kids are going on to, safe websites. And if, school, I know school's ending, but during the school year, if they want their kids to be doing homework, they can set up controls on there where they're, only able to go on to, YouTube and watch videos for an hour or so until their homework's done. So there's different, controls like that within this app that again make it beneficial for uh, residential folks to be able to monitor what's going on in their home. And then as far as the installation process goes and signing up for service, there's multiple ways you can do it. You heard earlier from Mike Polland, he's the local rep, and you'll see him out in the community as well. So if you're not comfortable, calling or going online, Mike makes his rounds on a pretty regular basis. So you'll see him in the community or in your neighborhood. So you're more than welcome to sign up with service for him. Like we mentioned, we have support 24/7, so you're able to call in. Or if you're comfortable just going online, you can do that as well. It's a pretty simple process. You go on there, select the plan that you're looking for, and then we're able to schedule that installation for you. There's communication throughout that process as well. So I always like to use the safe light example. Getting your windshield hit with a rock or stone is a terrible experience, right? But they make it great with the app and the communication. We follow that similar process. So once your install's scheduled, you get communication via text to let you know, hey, our tech's on the way. Here's when the install is going to happen. And of course, if you have questions, you can always reach out to us. And then once that technician's there, it typically takes anywhere from a half hour to an hour to set up your home with service. For a business install, it's a little bit longer just because there's more that goes into it. But again, we follow the same process from a business perspective of here's the communication, here's the rep that's, or here's the technician that's going to be out there to help you and walk you through the install process. And then do want to make sure we talk a little bit about the Light Up Livingston project. So that's something that, we've been working closely with Livingston County to provide service to residents. We have Megan here today from Livingston County that is going to talk a little bit more about that partnership and how we've been working together and what the next steps look like from the county and Empire end. So I'll turn it over to her for a few minutes.
Thanks, Mark. Um, Livingston County did a broadband survey in 2018. We finished up with the data and the analysis right before COVID. And there was a countywide survey that went out both electronically and paper version, asking if residents wanted governmental intervention and governmental assistance in the field of high-speed internet. And it was a resounding yes. So the citizens really wanted some sort of assistance. And so we've been actively trying to pursue broadband and high-speed internet fiber to the premise grants since 2019. We did a request for proposals to properly procure a vendor, and Empire Access replied with a proposal to work with the county. And we have been quite successful in this public-private partnership. In 2021, we received $11.3 million from the USDA. The grant is called Reconnect. It's through rural development. Rural development subsidizes funding for these fiber builds to the most rural locations within the county, mainly agricultural based and some low density residential. So essentially, an internet company would not go there unless they had these large subsidies or funding to do this. And so we were successful in partnership with Empire at getting that $11.3 million. The county put $3.7 million into that. So we did the 25% match. And Reconnect was owned by Empire Access. They own the actual fiber line there. Our public-private partnership has a cost share, so they're paying the county back for that $3.7 million investment. And then, that was specific to some pretty rural and some pretty low density areas. We know there are areas in Livingston County where additional funding was needed. And so we together partnered and applied for the Municipal Infrastructure Program. It's called MIP. The county was awarded $26.5 million in June of 24. And so that is actually in the county's name. The ownership of the network is Livingston County's. Again, we have a series of legal agreements between the parties as to operations, maintenance. The county is very clear they didn't want to own or maintain an internet network. Let's give that to the folks that do this best. And we've been really excited to partner with Empire Access to deliver the high-speed internet to residents. We've mostly completed the expansions to the south of Geneseo. So if you think of our county and kind of split it with an equator, the southern portion of our county is NYSEG, is the utility provider. And so for the aerial deployment to go on the poles, NYSEG is a bit quicker to work with in terms of getting the make ready done and being able to attach our own fiber. So we split the county into service areas, and service area 1 and 2, the fiber is going up now and customers are being connected. For the more northern portions of the county, service areas 3 and 4, we're still working with National Grid to get the permissions to go on the poles, to get the make ready packages completed and all of that. But all in all, the county must finish this investment through both of these grants. It's over $41 million, and that's by the end of this year because it's funded by the ARPA money through COVID. So the American Rescue Plan Act expires at the end of the year. And so we've got quite a tight timeline. We've been in partnership working to combine our resources and our advocacy to get what we need done. And right now we've been on town meetings in spring and summer. We've been doing evening meetings in each of the towns, giving updates with specific roadways and timelines for expansion, answering questions similar to today's. And we've had a great partnership so far and look forward to getting everybody online. Thank you.
Meg, what department are you with? I'm sorry, I wasn't.
Sure, I'm the planning director for the county.
Oh, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Megan. And for more information about that, there's a website that the county has set up, lightuplivingston.com. And you can go on to empirefiberinternet.com or empireaccess.com. If you put in your address in there, it'll provide updates of where we are in the construction process as well. And I'll echo what Megan said. It's been a great partnership, and we've really enjoyed working with the county to provide service to as many residents and businesses as possible. And then the last slide just highlights a little bit of what Megan was talking about. Um, and we're pushing to get as much done by the end of the year as possible. So with the nicer weather, it definitely makes it a lot easier on our end from a construction standpoint to get out there and do the aerial and underground work. So that is it on our end. We'll open it up to any questions that anyone may have about the partnership or Empire Access.